The Margarita Man, how a Dallas man's cool invention has made him a hot commodity. Dallas man is being put in the national spotlight tonight for what he can do with a cocktail. So even if you haven't heard of Mariano Martinez, chances are you've heard of his invention, the Margarita machine. He got the idea 40 years ago after walking by a Slurpee machine.
I don't want to make Slurpees, I want to make margaritas. And finally one guy said to me, he said, well, didn't you take chemistry? Don't you know alcohol doesn't freeze?
Okay, he bought a soft serve ice cream machine, and then once the margarita froze, business heated up. Now the high school dropout has several restaurants. Hear more of his story coming up next on Nightline.
Isn't it a great country?
I love it. The Margarita Man.
Good night.
See you later.
And Margarita Master, it's the ultimate summertime indulgence, the perfect treat to beat the heat. But it didn't happen by accident. Meet the man who invented this frozen miracle. Just ahead, the creator of the iced margarita machine. We introduce you to the Thomas Edison of frozen tequila drinks. As you may or may not know, depending, Sunday is National Tequila Day, and with temperatures expected to be reaching 3 digits, you might just find yourself at some point staring into that hypnotic spin of a frozen margarita machine, waiting for its delicious delivery. If so, you'll have one man to thank. For ABC's Ryan Owens, it's tonight's Sign of the Times.
Along the Central California coast, just beyond the cliffs of Pebble Beach, nestled among the cypress and the pines, there sits a patch of agave, the plant used to make tequila. They seem a bit out of place, but then so does the man who planted them.
You're the Margarita Man. Oh my gosh.
Mariano Martinez is a high school dropout.
I was born in the Little Mexico section of Dallas, and my first language was Spanish.
How he went from the rough streets of Dallas
How about a toast to the good life here?
Okay. Salud.
to the corner table at the Pebble Beach Club
This is where I always wanted to be. I wanted to end up here.
has everything to do with those frosty drinks sitting in front of us.
Margarita is now the #1 cocktail in the world. And in this country, there's 180,000 margaritas that are consumed every hour in the United States.
For all of those brain freezes, all of those empty calories, you now know who to blame. 40 years ago, Mariano Martinez invented the frozen margarita machine. That's him next to it in the bandito costume.
This was my one shot, and I thought I had everything covered.
Martinez had cobbled together enough money to open a small Mexican restaurant in Dallas. Opening night was a disaster.
We had one blender, and we had bartenders that were cutting limes and squeezing them. They were supposed to have been measuring the tequila and the Cointreau, and they were overwhelmed with the orders.
His first customers complained the drinks all tasted different and took too long to get.
I had a very sleepless night that night, and the next morning, I stopped at a 7-Eleven store, and I saw that Slurpee machine sitting back there, and the light bulb just went off.
Martinez immediately called 7-Eleven.
And they were very guarded and suspicious. What do you want a Slurpee machine for?
Right.
Yeah, Slurpees are proprietary to 7-Eleven.
And then you said, I want to add tequila to them.
Yeah,
and
I
that
said,
didn't
I
go over
don't
too
want to
well.
make Slurpees, I want to make margaritas. And finally one guy said to me, he said, well, didn't you take chemistry? Don't you know alcohol doesn't freeze?
Undaunted, he bought a soft-serve ice cream machine.
And we kind of souped it up like you would a car to make it run faster.
By adding more sugar, he made it freeze.
And I said, you know, plug it in, let's go for it. And it worked.
And his little restaurant
Hi, welcome to Mariano's.
It was an overnight success. People came from, you know, all over the North Texas, and they heard about the machine. That machine saved me from going out of business.
Today, Martinez sits atop an empire of a half-dozen restaurants across North Texas with 600 employees.
Mira, look how beautiful this food is.
A very loyal clientele.
Cheers. Cheers to Mariano.
It suits us all. It's great.
And one honor he couldn't even fathom. His invention is now in the Smithsonian. Mariano and his wife of 38 years, Wanda, now split time between Texas
Chip salsa and frozen margarita. Doesn't get any better than that, right?
and the California coast.
We bring happy and just kind of window shop.
We spent a day walking around scenic Carmel, bar hopping. What to order was never a question.
Here are your margaritas.
Life's good.
Especially after a few margaritas.
Well, then that makes it better. Then life's great.
Now, you still have traditionalists who say the best margarita is one on the rocks. What do you say to them?
I agree with them. I'm one of those.
So wait a minute, you're telling me I'm sitting here with a guy who came up with a margarita machine and he drinks them on the rocks?
Right. My tastes have evolved. Hi, I'm Mariano.
And so has his life.
You know, people always talk about the American dream. Have you lived it?
I have. I'm living it right now.
Perhaps those agave plants don't look so out of place after all. I'm Ryan Owens for Nightline in Carmel, California.
Mariano Martinez, we salute you.